You're listening to Tales of the Forsaken, a live play Fate Core game by Noble Jester Productions. Welcome to Ryllian, a western fantasy world where magic needs fuel, and that fuel is mined and refined into Ectin, a place of vast deserts, dark rituals, and greedy mining companies. A dwarf awakens and has forgotten who he is. Who is Verboden, and how will he seek to remember his past in the midst of this harsh world?
Get started with you, Verboden. You had that crazy night, but eventually you did get a little bit of sleep. You wake up in the morning and get ready and come out of your tent to the bustle of this Rough Rider camp. You can see that there are really multiple groups, which you're assuming are the multiple towns that have come together to form this organization, the Rough Riders. Mm-hmm. And you come out of your tent and you can kind of see your own people also waking up and going about their day, and you can see those other groups as well. So anything you specifically want to do?
I think I would just, in general, just walk around and try to get familiar, and then as I'm walking, as you mentioned that there are, a couple different groups, different cities, I think I would just try to spot out and see if I can tell who is the lead person. I feel like that kind of happens in those types of groups, who's the lead person, so I can kind of get an idea of those people.
Yeah, so you spend a little bit of time just kind of walking around, shaking hands, saying hello. You get kind of a feeling that there are 3 towns other than your own represented here. Ectin Falls, led by Roland. Then there is Tanner's Point, led by their sheriff, a gnome named Karen Fields, and then a tiefling sheriff of Wildfire. The tiefling's name is Riser.
Okay, cool.
So you have kind of identified these different groups. Anything you want to do?
I don't think so. No, not specifically.
Well, eventually, you would have somebody kind of run up to you and essentially just tell you, hey, Roland is gathering the leaders, so he's requested you to come to his tent, essentially.
Yeah, I would head over to his tent.
You gonna take anybody with you, or just go yourself?
This is a bad idea with what happened with Carl, but I'm gonna ask Jasper if he wants to come along.
Okay.
I just can't help myself.
Don't get burned.
All right.
All right, yeah, so Jasper comes along with you, and you find Roland's tent. It's kind of a large tent that's been set up. You can tell there's a little more of like a war tent. There's tables and things set up inside. And so you walk inside and you can see Roland there along with a couple other people. You can see a tiefling who you assume is Riser. You can see a gnome woman with a star on her chest, and assume it's probably Karen. And then there's a half-elf. Hard to tell the age of kind of the half-elves, mm-hmm. but looks younger, standing over next to Roland, and then a dwarf who also looks a bit on the young side. Real short beard, has these massively thick crystalline glasses, and is talking animatedly to Roland as you walk in, and everybody just kind of stops and turns to look at you.
Good morning to you all.
Oh, Verboden. Good to see you. Welcome in. Hey, come on in. Let me introduce you around the group here.
Alright, sounds good. Good to see you there, Roland.
He shakes your hand.
Shake it back. Nice squeeze.
Yeah. He has a very firm grip. You can tell he's not trying to squeeze your hand or anything. He just, iron hands.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. So he introduces you around. He introduces you to Karen and to Riser. And then he introduces you to the half-elf. He says, "Hey, this is my deputy, Robin Trask."
Oh, hey there, Robin. It's a pleasure to meet you. And you're hailing from Ectin Falls, that's correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
All right.
And then he points to the dwarf and he says, "And this is Gart Rockbraid. He's here with us from Spirited Mind."
Oh, Spirited Mind. That's excellent. Glad you could join us for this.
Oh, yes, sir. This is a very exciting enterprise, and I think we at the Spirited Mind have a lot to give and a lot to learn from all of you.
All right, excellent. Anything in particular you're looking to gather or learn from this expedition?
Well, there's quite a bit of interesting happenings up in Twin Rivers that I'm sure along the way someone will explain to you that I'm not really authorized to explain, but there are a few things that he kind of looks over at Roland and almost like, hang on, before you get ahead of steam there, let's sit down, have some coffee.
All right, I didn't mean to get into too much there in the weeds with you there, but sounds interesting.
Roland, he kind of gathers everybody around this table, and he has a roughly hand-drawn map of a town that you quickly gather is probably Twin Rivers. And you can see that it has pretty heavy walls along the southern side of the town. The northern side is occupied by these tall kind of bluffs. And then it's got some kind of roughly sketched out buildings and things, but it's not a super detailed map. Roland stands up and puts his hands on the map and says, well, this is kind of a momentous occasion. First real meeting of the Rough Riders.
Yeah, it just seems like it was yesterday where you and I were sitting in your office and dreaming this whole thing up, and here we are.
Exactly, here we are. Well, we have quite a bit to cover. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We still have a couple more towns that I'm hoping will show up, but I do want to just collect a little bit of information, see if each one of you can tell me about who you brought, and we can get an idea of what kind of forces we bring to bear.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, from Silveridge, I've got Jasper here. I apologize, I did not introduce Jasper. He's a fine fellow. Yeah, so we've got about half our town showed up, so it's total about 15. You're strong and ready to do what we can.
Yes, we're ready. Jasper kind of stands up and waves and then sits down and says, 15, wow, that's a good number, especially from, no offense, it's a pretty small town.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Alright, well, from Ectin Falls, we've got about 25 here. I can't guarantee that all of them are combat ready. We've got some people who I brought along for cooking and cleaning and just, taking care of some things that I didn't figure everybody else would potentially think of.
Oh, that's smart. Really just us having a show of force is going to be beneficial against Dagomar. I mean, you know him well.
Well, yes, we will get to that in a moment. Razor, you all know Razor Hastra. She's Sheriff of Wildfire. How many were you able to bring? And the tiefling stands up and she says, well, I was able to bring along 8 of our tieflings from Wildfire. We are all capable and trained, but I'm a little bit unsure about this. We came because you requested it, but I don't know that we should be going up against the mining companies so boldly as of yet. Roland says, I totally understand, but we do have information, and this is, I think, a credible threat. We'll talk about it. He points over to the gnome and says, Karen, how many were you able to bring? She stands up. Oh, well, Tanner's Point. We've got 10. Yeah, we're in it. No offense, Riser, but I think you've always been a bit too slow, and I think we just need to get it done, and I'd like to get home. Roland says, well, thank you so much for your input there, Karen. All right, that's a pretty good number. That's more than I was expecting, and I'm hoping that Tenpenny might show, but I've heard that they may have already been mostly taken over by the Shunt Mining Company. The Gorge won't show, but you never know. We'll see. We've got a couple days left, and we will hope that somebody else will show.
Yeah, well, here's to hoping. I appreciate all you coming out to help. I feel like this is, I know it's a challenge for y'all and a risk, but wouldn't be asking if I didn't feel like it was worth it.
I agree. Well, Verboden, why don't you're the one who kind of called this whole thing together. Why don't you tell us your information, and then I'll fill in with what I found out.
Yeah, no problem. So, I had a source, somebody who's been helping close these portals with these demons. Not sure if any of you have had any run-in with them, but I've had a few myself, and even though we've had great success, I feel like it's a threat that won't end. And there's one last of these portals where they're coming through. I'm told it's here in Twin Rivers, and it sounds like these demons and the Shunt Mining Company are actually working together. So, as if the Shunt Mining guys weren't bad enough before that, now they got these crazy creatures with them too. So, I feel like it's kind of their last stand, and we got them on their heels a bit. And I think it's worth striking while the iron's hot.
Well, I have done what I can to send in some people into Twin Rivers. Unfortunately, only one was able to return, but I can confirm that Dagomar has somehow combined himself with one of these creatures, and several of his men appear to have done the same thing, and then there's just some of them that are roaming around the town. The people there, well, they're in desperate straits. They need help. And what else are we for if we can't help our own people out here?
Yeah, that's right.
This is Gart from the Spirited Mind, and he has a bit of information that I think will help us get some clarity on what's going on. Gart? And here's the situation. We at the Spirited Mind, you all know that we have the authorization and the full control of the Ectin production, and unfortunately, I discovered in the bookkeeping that the Shunt Mining Company has been holding back on their deliveries of the ectominol, and I believe that they have been manufacturing their own Ectin, and it's quite concerning to the Spirited Mind, and we need to stop them, for one, but we also we want to make sure that people know that you can't manufacture your own Ectin. It's dangerous.
I'm just kind of just standing there scratching his head, just kind of watching this guy.
Okay. Roland just kind of nods and says, well, the political nature of that I won't touch, but I think the Shunt Mining Company stockpiling their own Ectin is potentially a problem. And Robin, I think you had an idea. Robin kind of nods and stands up, and you can see, just kind of looking at him, he's got like 6 pistols in various different holsters around his body, and he just kind of idly messing with one of them as he talks, and he says, yes, thank you. Well, in some of my dealings, I've had a bit of an encounter with several different Ectin smugglers, and I think I could potentially get one, or get some of us to one perhaps, and we could have a conversation and see if they can give us a little more information.
That's a good plan. Is this Ectin smuggler, do they live here in Twin Rivers?
He's outside of Twin Rivers.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely a good lead.
Roland, he nods and he says, yes, I agree. I think this is something we need to take care of, so why don't you volunteer to take this on?
I don't mind. I can go talk to him. Would I be going with you, Robin?
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
All right. Is there a particular way you've made contact with him, or you know how to find him?
Well, we're just gonna roll up on where I think he's holed up and just have a conversation.
Sounds good. I'm pretty good at just dropping into places unexpected.
He is a bit of a slimy fellow, so, don't be afraid to turn the screws if you need to.
All right, sounds good. You just let me know if you need any of that.
All right. Any other information before we need to go? Roland says, no, I think that's important enough. You can head out there, and we will wait a couple days for the rest of the towns if they show, and then bring everybody out to Twin Rivers. Anything you want to do with the rest of your townspeople? Are you taking any of them with you?
No, I think I'm going to leave them behind, let them have some time with the rest of the Rough Riders, hopefully building some camaraderie.
So you and Robin set out, and it takes you another couple of days your camp is a couple of days away from Twin Rivers, and this smuggler lives about half a day's travel outside of Twin Rivers. Robin leads you into kind of a group of trees, and there's kind of a little bit of a dirt road off of the main road that leads to Twin Rivers, and you start down that, and you come up upon this just real small shack, just kind of, ramshackle made of wood, and Robin kind of swings down, ties his horse off, and goes up and knocks on the door, which almost falls in as he knocks. There's a moment and a voice. What do you want? Hey, Roadrunner, it's Robin. I think we need to have a bit of a talk. Who's that out there with you? Oh, this is my friend Verboden, and we just need to have a bit of a chat. I don't like the look of him.
I'm sorry, is there something about my parents that I got something in my beer? What's the matter?
I don't like to talk to people I don't know.
Well, how about tell you a little bit about myself and get to know me, and then we can talk?
Okay. Yeah, you do that. You talk. I'll listen from in here.
Alright, well, Roadrunner, my name's Verboden, and I'm the sheriff at Silver Ridge. I've been sheriff there for, 6 months now, and my horse over here, this is our kid. I really like breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day. I don't know what to say. I don't have much of a life outside of being a sheriff.
What's your opinion on the underworld that does not affect you and your town?
Well, I personally have had no dealings with the underworld that is not a part of my town, so I'm not going to express any judgment on something I really don't know about.
By express any judgment, do you mean you're not going to shoot me in my head?
Oh man, I did not have any intent of shooting anybody today, so no, I guarantee I'm not going to shoot you unless you try to shoot me.
Alright, I'm going to come out, but you can't come in.
Yeah, that's fine, right, Robin?
Yeah, Robin steps back and the door opens, and this little gnome, like 2 feet tall, like this is a very small gnome, even for gnomes. He steps out the door, and he's very small, very, petite, and he kind of looks around, and he closes the door quickly behind him, and, okay, what do you want? And Robin says, well, Roadrunner, I think we've got a bit of information that we're hoping you can give us. We've come into some knowledge that the Shunt Mining Company, and as he says that, this little gnome just kind of shifts to the side and takes on a bit of a defensive stance. Robin holds his hands up. Whoa, hey, we're just talking. The Shunt Mining Company is holding back on the Ectin trade, and it seems they've been collecting their own stockpiles of Ectin, and we're hoping you can give us some information about that. This little gnome, who apparently is named Roadrunner, shakes his head. Nope, I don't know anything about that. Robin he looks over at you and says, now come on, Roadrunner, we've been through our troubles, and I let you go that one time. I think I've earned a bit of honesty. Now, I just don't know anything. I avoid the Shunt Mining Company.
Well, that's a shame there, Roadrunner. I was speaking to Robin here a little bit, and I feel like he'd be pretty confident that you would know about the Shunt Mining Company, and it's a shame for you to be dishonest about that. Man, that's disappointing.
Are you trying to be persuasive, trying to use any skills at this point, or?
Just persuasive at this point, not threatening really at all.
Why don't we go ahead and just kind of start this off with a roll?
Okay. Influence?
Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
Alright, I'm going to use Influence, which is my last average skill. That's a total of -1.
Not a great roll. Let's see what he rolls.
No, I don't expect anything good.
Well, it is a success, because he got a -2.
Alright.
So, look, the Shunt Mining Company are bad folk down there in Twin Rivers right now, and I don't feel like crossing them.
Well, you're not going to have to cross them. I mean, I'm sure I can speak for Robin here, and I definitely can speak for myself, but I've got some pretty tight lips, and, if anybody's crossing them, it's us, and I promise you, nobody's going to know anything came from you.
I have stayed out of pretty much all of it, but I do know. Okay, so here's the deal. It didn't come from me. I have nothing to do with it. But I have heard that Shunt Mining Company, yes, they're processing their own Ectin, and they've been buying it all up from all over. Pretty much every Ectin smuggler around has been bringing it in for their use. I don't know what they need it all for, but they've got to have a pretty big store in there.
Man, so they not only are they not shipping out what they're supposed to, but they're actually carting in from other places?
Yep, that's the skinny of it.
Wow. Well, what do you think of that, Robin?
I think that's concerning. I'm not sure why they would need so much of it to the point of a mining company to send it off.
Yeah, that's how they would. You'd think they would be all about making as much money as they can with the sale of it, but if they're bringing it in, that's counterintuitive.
Yeah. Roadrunner, anything else you can tell us? Well, that's all the information I know, unless there's some other incentive.
Well, what would fancy you?
Oh, I like gold.
Yeah, I like gold myself. I'll reach in my pouch and pull out a sack of coins and kind of like grab the coins, drop them, kind of make some noise, like as I'm thinking, well, I got a bit here, but I would say I am feeling pretty generous. That might just depend on how valuable the information, so maybe I'll leave that up to you. You impress me, and a lot of this could be yours.
That's a lot of words, and we haven't really established a relationship to know what you mean when you say generous.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like you know quite a bit about me. I mean, you know my favorite meal of the day, and so far I feel like this is a pretty good conversation, and you've given us some valuable information, and yeah, it's a good starting point.
Generosity to me is 25 gold.
25 gold. What do you say, Robin? You think he's got some information worth that?
Robin puts a hand on a pistol and he says, well, if he doesn't, that 25 gold will just have to come right back, won't it?
Oh, well, hang on there, Robin. I don't think we'll need that. That's right there, Roadrunner. We won't need any of that, correct?
No, you don't need any of that, but I would like the gold before I tell you.
I'm going to trust you. Take the pouch and pull the leather strap, zip it up, and toss it his way.
He, darts under it and catches it, and, he hefts it a little bit. Huh? 24? 25? Yep, okay. Well, here's the deal. I'm pretty sure that most of the Ectin smuggling is done. I think word has kind of gone around that they've got what they need. But there is one more shipment coming in, and it's a doozy. There's a pretty large shipment coming in, I think tonight. I'm not involved, but I could probably point you in the right direction.
Well, that sounds like 25 gold worth information there. Won't you say, Robin?
If they're actually there, then yeah, of course.
All right. Well, anything else, Roadrunner? I think that was pretty good.
Hey, I personally have always felt that helping out the law and helping the peacekeeping people of the New Frontier is just a great thing for me to do. And, hopefully, if we ever meet again, you'll remember this.
Oh, all right. I think that's a good line. That's a good line you got there, but I appreciate you.
All right. Well, hey, if you need anything, now you know where I live.
That's right. And you know where I live, too.
I have no idea where Silver Ridge is.
All right, you should come check it out. They got the best breakfast in the whole frontier out there. Sunday special.
I don't eat breakfast, actually.
Oh, man, and he kind of puts a hand on his heart. That hurts a little bit. Oh, man, I might need to get one of them gold back from that comment. I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you.
He clearly did not think that was funny at all.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's about it here, right?
Yes, well, Roadrunner, you come with us and show us where this shipment's coming in, and I think that'll conclude our business. Okay, I'll come with you, but once we're done, I'm not getting involved. You can shoot people, you can do whatever you want with that shipment, but unless you want to, you want me to take care of it for you, I'm not getting involved.
What do you mean, take care of it?
Well, it's supposed to be a pretty big shipment. I could sell that and we could net a nice little profit for ourselves.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do here. We'll get back to you on that one.
Okay, hey, I'm perfectly willing to cut you in for 5%.
Oh man, 5%. Whew.
5% for each of you.
Oh, each? I mean, I was already thinking I'd be splitting that 5% with Robin, man.
Oh, you do the work. You show me that you can use that there pistol, and I'll cut you in.
Man, I'll have to think about that there, Robin, won't we?
He just kind of chuckles and I don't think so.
Kind of leans into Robin. I was being a little sarcastic there, man. I don't think he's picking up on that.
Yeah, I can't say I'm much of a sarcastic person myself.
Yeah, I think I got the wrong crowd for this here.
Hey, I liked it. I didn't like the sarcasm once you pointed it out, but if you change your mind.
All right, it's a deal.
So you, together, he leads you off. Anything you want to do before, potentially coming up on this Ectin shipment?
Because we are nowhere close where we could even get a message to anybody that it's happening. Because we're close to Twin Rivers. It's coming in. We're days away.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to wait several days. It's taken you several days to get here, so it will take them several days, past this to meet up with you here. And not to mention, you're kind of in enemy territory at this point. You're only about a half day away from Twin Rivers, so.
Yeah, I think we'll scope it out, just kind of a recon mission, just see how heavily guarded it is, if his information's true, essentially. That's kind of start there.
Okay.
Yeah.
He leads you through the trees and then out into just kind of this rocky shrubland, and he leads you, a couple hours, and then you come upon, it's not even really a road, but you can tell that someone has taken some care to kind of smooth out the rocky terrain here, and it looks like wagons of some kind pass through here fairly regularly. Not, it's not really a road per se, but it looks like kind of a smuggler's, road. He says, well, this is the only way in or out. That they're gonna have to come in this way, so you can hang out here, wait for them. They'll be by sometime tonight, is what I'm told. So I think that's all you need me for.
All right, yeah. I guess we'll find if we need you there, Roadrunner.
Yep, going home. So he takes off running, and he's actually extremely fast.
Okay.
And he runs away.
Does it look like the Roadrunner? A plume of dust as he's going across the desert?
A little bit.
Okay.
Robin just kind of shakes his head. Never really liked that little squirt there, but
yeah, well, things get a little rough here out on the frontier. So, not that I agree with him, but I can understand it at least.
Yes, I do what I have to. I've learned a lot from Roland, and he's a bit more of a stickler for things like that than I am. But I think sometimes you have to work with the people that are out there in the world.
I agree.
We've got some time to kill here. You've been a sheriff out there in Silver Ridge for, you said, 6 months now?
Mm-hmm.
What brought you to being a sheriff?
Well, it was just all the perks, I get this shiny star here, and, I just make friends everywhere I go.
Friends? Yeah, I guess so. What'd you do before that?
Oh, little this, little that. Sounds a little vague, but, has Roland told you much?
About you? No, not really. I just know that you were one of the founding members of the Rough Riders, and together the two of you had the idea.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I gave you a little short story. Had something happen to me where I lost my memory, so if I'm being vague about my past, it's because for a while there I really didn't know much about it. So I actually woke up in Silver Ridge and wasn't really sure how I got there and who I was. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Oh, that sounds pretty unfortunate. So you just don't know who you were, huh?
Yeah, it was a crazy thing. It's working out.
Wow. Can't imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't really wish it on somebody to have this happen to them, but making do. I mean, people at Silver Ridge are great. I don't know if you had a chance to meet Jasper and Sonny and these guys. It's a special group, and I'm sure if Silver Ridge is like that, there's other towns that are the same. And that was a big reason why we put the Rough Riders together was these people didn't have a way of taking care of themselves against guys like Dagomar Shunt, or if he went away, somebody else would rise up and take his place.
Oh yes, I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm from Ectin Falls myself, and I've always had a talent for using these pistols, and people call me Pistol sometimes. But I've been working with Roland and trying to learn what I can, and being a deputy and now being a Rough Rider it's been fulfilling.
Well, that's good. Sometimes people just have these natural abilities and a purpose. So that kind of looks them up and down. That suits you well.
Well, thank you. I was not real good at anything else, and so I appreciated Roland taking me in.
Well, that's good. You got a good mentor.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, probably not a good idea to just stand out here in the middle of the scrub.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, it is a tactic, but probably not a good one. Let's how about up there? You want to go take advantage and get a lay of the land?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, are you going to keep your horse with you, or are you going to be, what's the plan here? Obviously, you don't know much about the composition of this shipment, but are you going to rush down on it? I mean, is there a plan?
Oh, man.
Or I guess you can just wait until you see it.
Yeah, I think that's the plan here, is to wait and see what type of group is with it. I think that, my assumption would be that they're going to have it protected and armed, but also to some extent, they wouldn't be expecting this out here too. So I think he would have the conversation with Robin that he's open to taking out the shipment. We'd stay on horses, try to get to at least a point where we feel like we can see the potential shipment before they could see us.
Yeah, you find, let's go ahead and get a survival check from you.
Okay.
Just to see if you can kind of find a place to, survival or stealth, although I think survival probably fits better just with your scouting out terrain here, trying to find a place where you can kind of hide and still see this path.
Yeah, I think the survival makes sense. Not a skill, so just be a straight roll here. Total of 0, but let's use a fate point and invoke the aspect of wild country.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. That gives you enough to succeed, and so you find kind of it's just a little bit of a hill, but you can kind of hang out behind it and see basically over it.
The horse and the bodies are kind of
you're covered. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so you wait a couple more hours, just kind of passing the time with a little bit of small talk, although Robin doesn't seem like he's super interested in just, chit chat. So, the time passes, and then eventually you do see a group. It's pretty dark, but you can see a group kind of making their way along the road, and they get close enough that you can make out there's a large wagon, and with some kind of a large, very large, almost like barrel shape in the back of the wagon. And it looks like there's a figure driving the wagon, another sitting next to that figure on the front of the wagon, and then there's 4 riders around the wagon.
I'll lean over to Robin. Well, we got a couple options here. We could let it pass, and we'd give up our element of surprise heading into Twin Rivers, but also we could be stopping something big. I've taken on a few before, based on all his pistols strapped to you. Seem like you're pretty handy. Got any gut feeling here?
Well, from what I know of these smugglers, if these are smugglers, put up much of a show of force, they'll run like jackrabbits. So that could be a good thing. These pistols aren't incredibly useful at range, so I'd have to get up a little closer, but we can certainly ride in down on them and try to take them out if you want.
But I think that these are Shunt mining guys, or would these just be more kind of like a trade smuggler type guys?
You'd probably have gotten the sense from Roadrunner that this was Ectin smugglers bringing in a shipment, not necessarily Shunt Mining Company.
Okay, got it. Robin, want to bet these guys have never seen two sheriffs together? Why don't we just go in and tell them that they're breaking the law and take it? Give them a chance.
All right. Hey, a chance is a good thing.
All right. Well, if you don't mind backing me up, I'll take the lead.
Yeah, you're the sheriff. I'm just a deputy.
Yeah, tell them that.
He kind of polishes the star on his chest a little bit. Yeah, they don't need to know.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we go say hello?
I'm right behind you.
All right. So I'll start riding that way.
Okay. Or are you just going to kind of ride out in front of them or, on the path, or are you going to ride directly towards them?
I'm going to, ride out in front onto, the path they're taking to intersect.
Got it. Yeah, so you wait a little bit until they're a little closer, and then you ride out. As soon as they see you, they start shooting at you.
Oh, okay.
And immediately these 4 riders rush towards you while the wagon starts barreling down the road and then kind of off the road to try to go around you. So we're going to start this combat with them just rushing at you. They're going to go ahead and go first because they were the first ones to fire here.
That makes sense.
Let me go ahead and set a couple of scene aspects here. So we've got nighttime. It's dark out. There's, you're not able to see features and things real clearly. I'm going to go ahead and set up a scene aspect of moving target, that this wagon is not stationary. It's trying to get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they're going to go ahead and make some attacks against you.
Okay.
There are 4 of these guys. All right. First one gets a 2. So you can defend with whatever skill you would defend with. Maybe ride, maybe...
Yeah, I think since we're kind of riding at speed, I'm going to use ride to defend and see if I can kind of outmaneuver these guys. I rolled a 0, but I'm going to invoke moving target because I am also a moving target.
Okay.
So that'll make it a 2.
All right. So you're using your second fate point.
I am. Oh, dang.
All right. So you successfully defend that. Second attack against you. That's a 4.
Okay. I'm still using ride here. That's a 1.
So he's going to hit unless you do something else.
Nope. I'll take that.
All right. So that's 3 against you. 3 shifts.
Wait, what did he roll?
He rolled a 4.
Oh, dang. Okay, so I will mark off the 3.
All right. And then 2 shots come in at Robin. He's going to defend also with ride. He takes 1 shift damage from that first attack, and then another 1 shift of damage, so he marks off his 1 box and his 2. All right, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to target the first guy shooting at us on the horses and try to take him out.
All right.
That's a 5 total.
All right, he only got a 2, so that's 3 shifts of damage. You fire, and it's dark, it's hard to see, but he falls off of his horse, which kind of spooks to the side. And then there's 3 more there. Robin's going to go ahead and he pulls a pistol and fires, although it's a little bit of long range here. Yeah, he misses. So they're, continuing to rush at you in this moment, unless you want to kind of change anything here.
No, I think noticing the type of weapons that Pistol Robin has, I'm going to get closer just to help get him in the fight a little bit more. Okay. So we're going to keep going head on.
Look at you calling him Pistol.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got 2 of these guys are going to fire at you. That was a 0.
Okay. Oh, man, that's not a good roll. I'm going to use Physique for the defend on that one, so that'd be also a 0.
Okay. Then the second attack is also a 0.
Okay, let me roll for that. That is a 1 total.
All right, so you successfully avoid both shots, and you're kind of both groups rushing towards each other, just kind of firing in the dark, and these bullets are just flying everywhere. And then one of them's gonna shoot at Robin. She successfully defends. All right,
I'm gonna take aim at one of the other guys, and how dark it is, I think we need to light this up. So I'm going to flip that lever for Ectin mode.
Okay.
And I'm going to focus on lightning.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
Ooh, that's good. That's 7 total.
Oh, wow. Well, he got a 6. That is the best roll he could get. That was 4 on the actual roll. So he is, you hit him, and you can feel this toggle again in your mind, and you select lightning, and the eyes on your pistol flare with this blue kind of crackling energy, and you suddenly feel yourself on top of Acquainted just shoot across the landscape here, and just feel yourself almost teleport across the landscape, and you land right in between these guys.
Okay.
So you are like right in the center of this group. Everybody's horses are going crazy, and you kind of see this lightning continue off of you down through the pistol barrel and just slam this guy off his horse. And there's just kind of crackling lightning everywhere all around you. Everything's going crazy.
That's awesome.
Robin is now a little ways away and is not going to attack because he's a little unsure what you just did, and also that he might hit you. So he's just going to focus on riding as fast as he can to try to catch up.
Okay.
These guys have no idea what just happened. They're trying to get their horses together, so I'm going to have them each do a ride check to see if they can even get control enough of their horses to attack you.
Okay.
Nope. And yes. So the first guy is just, his horse is like about to buck him off. And the second guy is able to control his horse, and he just turns and rushes after this wagon that is now kind of moved past you guys and is back on the road and quickly going away from you. So you've got this one guy whose horse is going crazy right next to you. You're up. The wagon and this other guy are heading away from you.
So when I shot, it's just me as a person. Acquainted is still back?
No, it took Acquainted with you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sweet. Kind of regather my thoughts and realize what's also happened quickly. I'm going to...
Let's actually have you also make a ride check.
Okay, yeah, it's a fair call. Okay, that's not bad. That's a 2.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, so I correct Acquainted and kind of steady him, and then... I kind of imagine this guy off to my side, trying to gather his horse. I kind of put the gun underneath my arm, and then I take a shot at him.
Okay.
That is a 5 total.
Oh yeah, you easily fire. You're almost point blank at this point. The only real difficulty is trying to hit him as his horse is moving him around. But you take a bead and hit him, and he falls off his horse. And at this point, Robin is just trying to catch up to you. He is close enough to you at this point that he's essentially caught up to you, although he's a little ways behind you still.
Okay.
And there's horses just kind of scattering, but this wagon and the rider that rode away from you are kind of making their way down the trail away from you. So at this point, I'm going to switch us over to turn this into a chase scene.
Okay.
So basically how this is going to go is there's essentially the chase itself has a track, and I'm going to set it as 8 spaces. They're going to have 3 of them already filled, because they're a little ways away from you.
Okay.
And essentially, you're going to go back and forth, taking turns. Whatever you choose to do, whatever cinematically you choose to do, you'll pick a skill. You'll roll that skill against them. If you fail, then they can either take a boost against you on their next turn, or move the track 1, in their direction. If you tie, then you can move the track 1 in your direction. Or, but that gives them a boost. on their next roll. Or if you succeed, then you move the track 1 in your direction. And if you succeed with style, you move it 2 in your direction, or 1, and you can take a boost next time.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think so.
So, and then they will be doing the same thing. They're trying to get to 8. You're trying to knock it down to 0, essentially.
Got it. And they've got 3 right off the bat.
Correct.
Cool. Like it.
Yep. So they're going to go first because you just got your turn. So they are just going to do a ride check, essentially, against your ride.
Okay.
As they are trying to get away from you. This wagon, they got a 1.
My ride check was 3.
Okay. So they fail. You can either move the track 1 back towards yourself, or you can take a boost for your roll.
Let's go ahead and move it. Let's do a boost. We'll do a boost for the next roll.
Okay. So I assume you turn and give chase.
Yep.
What are you doing to try to catch up to them?
First, just riding fast and hard and just making sure. I think here I'm doing kind of a horizon scan, make sure there's no other guys that we potentially missed, and there's just hopefully the cart and then the one other rider besides Ryllian.
Yeah. So at this point, this wagon is, just going extremely quickly down this trail, which it's dark, it's kind of hard to see, but you can still kind of see the trail underneath you, and the wagon, obviously, they seem to know where they're going. You're kind of scanning the horizon, not seeing any other figures that you can see at this point, although you know that you're decently close to Twin Rivers at this point.
Right.
So yeah, go ahead and make your ride check.
Okay.
You have boost on that.
So the boost give me a +2?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that would be a total of 7.
Okay. Well, then you succeed with style because they got a 3. So you can either move it 2 in your direction, or you can move it once and get another boost.
Let's move it once and get another boost.
All right. The rider catches up to the wagon, and he's going to leap off of his horse onto the wagon, onto the back of it. And then he spins and he shoots his own horse and is going to try to kind of like kill it in this path and block you guys. So he is going to make he's going to make a shoot check just to see if he can hit this horse, which he does. And then I'm going to have this be, I guess I'm just going to do his shoot check against your ride skill as you're trying to dodge this now dead horse in the path.
That's a 2.
Okay, he got a 4, so he succeeds. So he's going to move the track 1 back in his direction, and you're up.
Okay, then I have a boost on this one?
Correct.
Okay. So thinking back here a few seconds before when I used the lightning mode on the gun, does that distance seem about similar between me and where the horses were before versus me and the cart now?
No,
okay.
It does not. They're a decent amount, away from you. Let me rephrase that. They're quite a bit further away from you than those horses were.
Okay.
But you also don't know the distance, on this lightning at all. So.
Got it. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I think I'm going to try it. I mean, no, that thing shot me forward a good distance before. So I'm just going to take aim at the cart with that. They're specifically the guy on the back of the cart, although I'm pretty far. It's probably just aiming at the cart.
Okay.
So, yeah, aiming at the cart and switch for Ectin mode and lightning and shoot.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
So that's a 3 total, but then I get the boost, correct, from my previous turn?
Correct.
So then 5?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. He got a 3, so you successfully do so. I am going to go ahead and use a fate point and compel darkness.
Okay.
And I'm going to shift that a little bit. So you flip the switch, you focus on lightning again, you fire, and you feel yourself and Aked slam forward, and you come to and feel yourself vault off of Aked as Aked has slammed into the back of this wagon. And you kind of fly forward and slam into this large wooden barrel. And you kind of feel yourself crack this barrel, and liquid starts pouring out. And you've not hit this guy, but you're now on this wagon, and this liquid is kind of pouring out all over you and off the back of the wagon. As that starts to happen, you suddenly feel this presence in your mind that you've felt before of this chalice, and it awakens as this liquid starts pouring onto your body, and you suddenly kind of feel this surge of energy that you had felt once before. And it starts pulling this liquid kind of into your body and through. You can kind of feel this magical essence being pulled through you and into this chalice.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Am I still up?
They are going to take their turn. You are now on this wagon. Robin is still a ways behind you. Aked is kind of recovering from slamming into the wagon and is hopefully still going to continue following you. This guy is going to try to tackle you off the back of the wagon.
Okay.
So he's going to roll physique against probably your physique.
Yeah, I'll roll physique. Oh, is there a time for a better roll?
He got a 6.
Ooh, I got a 0. Ouch.
So, it's up to you if you use a fate point.
I might.
Or you could attempt to see if, you could do anything with the chalice.
Yeah, so, I mean, is the chalice, does it kind of potentially work like an aspect? I know we haven't, defined it as that, but could I use my last fate point to kind of harness the power of the chalice and reroll?
If you want to use it for that, you could do so without a fate point.
Okay. Then let's do that.
Alright. So you feel him kind of slam into you, and for a moment you just have this kind of thought in your mind of, what does this chalice do? And it kind of awakens at this thought, and you feel your feet firmly plant themselves on this wagon. He slams into you, and you don't move at all.
Ooh, I like this.
Assuming, that gives you your reroll, so
okay.
We'll see what happens.
Dang, I was like, man, I don't have to reroll? This is amazing.
You still have to reroll.
It doesn't help. It's only a total of 2.
Okay. So, well, that's better, because what did I say? You got a 3?
So you had a 6 or something crazy?
Oh, I did say a 6, yeah. So, it is a little better.
Yeah.
He still succeeds with style. So, you feel this kind of, firmly plant your feet, and then it kind of runs out of energy a moment later. It hadn't absorbed much. And he, kind of slams into you, tackles you, you don't move, and then he just sweeps your feet out from under you, and you fall off the back of the wagon. So it's your turn. You're falling off the back of the wagon. I'm going to let you choose to do something. They are moving the track, with that by 2 with that success.
So instinctually, I'm falling off the back of the wagon. I'm still going to try to use my lightning thing and aim it and try to hit this wagon again with that midair.
Alright, I like it. So you're cut to just above you, Verboden falling off the back of the wagon. You raise your pistol and you're going to fire. Alright, go for it.
That's a total of 3.
Alright, that's a success. You got a 1. Nice. So you succeed. Yeah, you kind of click this again in your head desperately and feel yourself flung back onto this wagon. Once again, you smash into this barrel, and this, Ectin just pours out all over you. And you can still feel it just kind of being pulled through you. Your body's almost like a sponge absorbing this Ectin, and it's being pulled into the chalice at your side. This guy is, frustrated at this point, but alright, so you succeed. Are you going to... Yeah, you can move the track 1 in your direction.
Yeah.
So it's at a 4 right now. They're winning.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, let's go ahead and move it 1 in my direction.
Yeah. Alright. So he's going to, once again, just try to kind of shove you off the back of this wagon.
It's a 3 for me.
That is also a 3 for him.
Yes.
So that's just a tie. He is going to go ahead and move the track 1 in their direction.
Okay.
And get back to a 5, and that gives you a +1 on your next roll. So you're up. He's just kind of grappling with you back and forth, trying to knock you off this wagon, but you're kind of a little bit slick with Ectin as it's pouring on you. He's getting it on himself now, and he's not able to really get a grip on you.
Yeah, so I'm going to lean back, like my back into the barrel, kind of brace myself, and then stick my foot out and try to kick him off the cart.
Okay, I like it.
So this would be a fight attack or a physique attack?
Either one.
Probably physique. So that's a 3 total.
Alright, he got a 2. So that's a success. Move the track 1 back in your direction. You just rear back and kick him off the back of this cart. So there are now still 2 guys at the front of the cart.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the back of the cart. This Ectin is pouring out all over you out of this huge barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially you may have just destroyed this shipment anyway.
Yeah.
But you don't know. It's hard to tell in the darkness how quickly this Ectin is coming out.
Sure.
So they might arrive with half a barrel. You don't know. It's their turn. The guy who's was sitting next to the driver is going to turn, and he's going to try to kind of around the barrel. Is going to try to shoot you.
Okay.
To knock you off of the back of this wagon. That's a 3.
I rolled, that'd be a 2 total, but let's use my last fate point and invoke nighttime.
You should have 2 because I gave you 1 back.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so then I'll use one of my last 2 to invoke nighttime for him, kind of not seeing me as clear, and that would make it a 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 4.
Alright, so you got a 4, you successfully, his bullet goes wild, It doesn't hit you, and you're up.
Okay, so in this moment, kind of processing, seeing all this Ectin spilling out of here, and realizing that Ectin is what makes my gun work and things propel. This is probably going to hurt. So I'm going to run, and I'm going to jump off the back of the cart, turn, and fire mode at the Ectin pouring out of the barrel.
Alright, so you leap off the back of the cart. Once again, this slow motion, almost John Wick style, backwards flying through the air. You fire, so go ahead and make your attack.
Okay. It's a good roll, I needed it. That's 6.
Alright. So you click the lever, you select fire, and this bullet propelled by kind of this column of flame shoots out, impacts into this barrel, and for a moment time stops, and then boom, massive explosion that explodes out towards you, and kind of this kickback, and you just feel yourself get knocked back, and you are flying even faster through the air, but there is just this massive explosion, and it's probably very visible from Twin Rivers, but you are quite sure that wagon and its occupants are destroyed.
Do I need to roll anything for how far I'm flying? This is probably going to hurt.
Yeah, let's go ahead, and I'm going to just have you roll probably like physique or athletics to try to...
Yeah, let's just go physique, because I don't think there's any way I can control my tumbling from the shockwave of this blast.
Yeah.
That is a 2 total on the physique roll.
Alright, I'm going to have you take 4 points of damage.
Okay, that checks out. Okay, so I'm going to mark off my 4 on my stress track.
Okay. So you slam into the ground eventually after flying for quite some ways, and we're just rolling. You can feel yourself rolling over rocks, slamming into bushes that feel like thorns. You're just getting cut up and torn to pieces. Eventually, you stop rolling. It's silent. You can almost hear your heartbeat in your ears as you probably blew out your an eardrum or something.
Knocked the air out of my cell.
And let's go ahead and end that session there.
Okay. Well, hey there, listener. We hope you're enjoying Tales of the Forsaken. If you'd like to support us and dig deeper into the story and its characters like me and Verboden, join our Discord list in the episode description. We are 100% independently created and produced, and it's your support that helps us keep creating.